It's okay.
Dobrý večer, čaute. Hello everyone. Hola David.
Hola, Rado. Jo, on
¿Cómo
hovorí
estás?
výborne po španielsky, hej.
Ok, vítajte na ďalšom meetupe Tatry IT Community. Dnes bez mojich slajdov, zvládneme to bez toho. Je to 37. meetup. Ja to budem teraz hovoriť stále nahlas, pretože to je veľmi dôležité. Tých meetupov máme a postupne pribúdajú. Tí, čo nevedia, tak sa tu stretávame každý mesiac, plus minus okrem prázdnin letných. A každý mesiac prinášame témy, ktoré sú snad zaujímavé pre mnohých ľudí. Nemusia byť len technické témy, ale aj netechnické témy. Vítajte ešte raz. Dnes budeme mať technickú tému, ktorá zabrne do automatizácie. Najbližšie sa uvidíme 19. júna a téma bude accessibility. Pre tých, ktorí nevedia, je to niečo, čo vyžaduje aj už európsky zákon a Slovensko podľa neho takisto. Čiže 19. júna accessibility, opäť tu v Coworking Poprad. Máme aj slajdo, hashtag TatryIT. Ak chcete položiť otázku, tak budete môcť položiť otázku priamo alebo cez slajdo. No a ja nebudem zdržovať a privítam medzi nami nášho kolegu v Coworkingu, Davida. On sa, predpokladám, sám predstaví. Ja ho nebudem predstavovať, ja sa teším na jeho tému, pretože som videl, čo to dokáže a dúfam, že aj vám to dá rôzne nápady, myšlienky, ako niečo zautomatizovať a ušetriť si čas na niečo iné, napríklad na spievanie. Pekný večer, David, show je tvoja.
Much, Rado. Yes, so how you see, I'm from Chile, so I moved here 5 years ago. My background is good to tell you that it's not crazy technical. I'm not a really technical guy because I was studying business in Chile, but I was really in love with websites. Like when I was studying, I was doing my own projects and everything. So I started like trying everything. I started learning how to code, and suddenly I started selling websites, and it was like, whoa, this it's possible. And then I got a job. I was working normally, and suddenly I met my wife. She was from Slovakia, so we decided to move to Slovakia. And I was like, oh, what I will do there, because I don't speak the language. Let's see how can I do. And I started doing the websites again, and I found some clients, and I came again into the websites and everything. And I realized that clients were asking me a lot to have like self-administration websites. They want to put their own products or whatever. So I found like WordPress is like a good way to go in this term. So I mainly use WordPress in the past years for my clients' websites, and then I'm doing maintenance and this kind of stuff. And around 7 months ago, I came into N8N, like this tool. Someone here knows the tool? Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, so it's one tool to just create automations. I was working with tools like this in the past, like Zapier, and it's for basic automations, like I was receiving an email and I want to do another output with this email, so whatever. But then when I came into this, I was surprised because this is different. I was like, whoa, here I can put an AI agent in the middle of the workflow, so totally changed a little bit my mind. So just I put this slide, like what is automation? Is the practice of designing systems that can perform tasks or make decisions with reducing human input. It's amplifying the capacity of the work we have, is reducing friction and scaling. So how automation used to look, as I know from the past I was working, is like the input. This is always about input outputs. So the input was coming, we have the code there, and we were always kind of expecting the same input. Like let's say the information will come always like this way. So we will process this information and we will put the outputs. And I don't know if you read the description of this meeting, but it is a little bit philosophical because I'm a little bit philosophical, and I see like in life it's always like this, like also inputs and outputs. I moved to Slovakia, it's like an input, and the output it's been crazy. Like It's been so much energy, work, life change. I have to change my lifestyle. I moved from 7 million city in Santiago de Chile to Smokovets, where I live now in the mountains with. There I was afraid of thieves who steal your pocket, and here I'm afraid of bears. So it's like my life change. So I see like, and everything is inputs and outputs. And since I'm working in the workflows, I realize like this is like totally small workflow, but let's think like this workflow is huge. And suddenly in the workflows, you see like it's running. So this task is okay with the webhook or something. Then this task is correct. So it goes there, then it goes there, there, there. And suddenly there is some error in one node. And I realized like, oh, I can see the whole workflow. And I see like I was this close to the end, but the error was there. And this also like makes me think in life, like sometimes you are struggling with something, but you are really close to something else, but you can't really see the whole scenario. So this totally pushed me, like the idea that sometimes when you are struggling with something, maybe you are really close to the final node, let's say. So this is how it looked, and this is how it's looking now with this AI automation. So it's coming the input, but suddenly now is something different in between. If you put the AI there, it interprets the data. So this input is not anymore like really structured, like has to be this, this, or this. Now it's like it can be this, and this can interpret different ways of the input and put the output you are expecting. So that a little bit changed the way of working, because now you can put them in the middle of the workflow and they can take decisions, what is good and it's bad at the same time. Like you have to be a little bit careful because you are putting someone who will take decisions there. So you are not 100% in control of these decisions. So that's why I think this year is the era of the rise of the AI agents. So what is the AI agents? Like they are LLMs, like large language models, that you connect to some model. Let's say like this agent we connected to ChatGPT, let's say the more popular. You put some memory, you put tools, or parser if you want to have like a specific outputs. And why this is game changer? Because it's context-aware reasoning. It means he receive an input from a question from someone, and he can understand the question and understand what the person is trying to get. Doesn't mean that the input is exactly as you were expecting, like before. It has external or embed knowledge, so you can connect this agent to external knowledge base. It means you retrieve information to the agent to understand the context, and more data you put, more data the agent will be able to get to create good context for the input he's getting. And also embed knowledge, you are telling the agent there in the prompt, like, okay, you will be an agent working for David. You will usually receive this kind of data. You have to do that. So that likes the context you are creating for the agent. And it can take real actions. It means you can connect tools there to create events, make a call, or whatever with the input. And you can define the answers in the format. So if you need the JSON format in the output, because then you will put this data into one table, you can tell the agent actually there in the output parser, like, okay, I need this exactly structure of your answer.
Question.
Yes.
I asked you several times, but sorry guys for asking non-technical stuff, but I'm out of IT. Can you explain two words, to parse, and the other one was webhook? I know I asked you several times
Okay.
before, but if you could, because I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay, so all the workflows were like inputs and outputs. So the input, you need to put data into the system. So how can you put data? There's different ways of collecting data. You need a trigger, for example, that will make this work. So it will not work for anything. You need an action to push the workflow to work. So in that trigger can be a webhook call that you receive the webhook, let's say like it's one URL where you receive data, and that data you received, you can get it into the system, let's say.
Webhook is a URL, yes.
I think technical guys will explain better, but it's like an endpoint, let's say, of information. So you give this endpoint somewhere, let's say to one system, and you say like, okay, anytime this database it's updated, send this information to this webhook. And it's like an HTTP request, and receive the data there, and you can use that data into your system. So you can make the workflow work every time the webhook receives information.
So maybe in other words, input is anything that comes as a piece of information for the node or for the component that works with the data. And when it processes the data, it will send it out, and it's the output part. And on input, you can have anything. It can be text, it can be output from previous node or previous like processor that will process your input data. It can be sometimes video, sometimes voice, it can be table, it can be connection to the database, it can be whatever you can imagine that can be sent right now. In these days, we are not really restricted to text only or binary data only, because the components in the workflow can process almost anything nowadays. And maybe it's hard to imagine for you non-technical what is the input, but you can really imagine anything.
Yeah, we can show then inputs. I will show then inputs.
Yes. So, okay.
Yeah, and in terms of Jan, that he's doing marketing and everything, let's think like you have forms in Facebook form. So every time the form is submit, then you will send this information to the webhook. And then in one tool, let's say N8N that we are talking now, you receive the data and you can put the data working into the workflow. So let's say I need to send email to this guy, do this, and you take the data from this input. And then the other question you say is the output parser. It's because the AI agent is answering like ChatGPT. Let's say you open ChatGPT, you say, hi, what is the capital city of Slovakia? And he will say, yeah, the capital city in Slovakia is Bratislava, there is whatever. So it means you are not telling him like how you need this answer. The answer is like totally open. But there you can say like, I need a specific answer. Like I need that the answer will be just Bratislava. So no more. Or I need the output in separated by commas because then I will use it for CSV or whatever. So it's formatting the output of the agent.
So as you imagine, you had a good example. You have a form that you fill in, you press send, so whatever you filled in is input. So it's a text data in a structure of table. Then the agent or whatever you have processed that gives you answer that is output, and that the output can be text, can be video, but with this parser thing, you can imagine it as a tool where you define the structure of the data. Either it's a table, it's a voice, it's a video, it's just one string, it's a number. So you will tell that parser, it's called technically it's parser, but it's a definition how you want your data to look like when you get them out of the process.
Yeah, so this main thing with AI agents and everything, it's unlocking possibilities for non-coders. Like, I consider myself like not a coder at all. Like I'm trying everything, I'm searching for new things, and it gives me the confidence to create workflows by simply prompting. So what that means, like before, you need to understand the input and process all this data. So you need to code all this, like, okay, here is the variable, the input, I will convert this into this format, and you have to code everything. Now you just tell the agent, like, I need this, and please give me this output in terms of this input, and he will create this structure. And to achieve that before, you need to know, like it's hard. But it's not magic, like that's important thing now. Like be careful, because you are sacrificing control. And that's why it's not for everyone, it's not for every process. Why? Because you are losing control. Before you were expecting 3 inputs and you will have 3 possible outputs, sorry. And now you are receiving the input and someone there, the AI agent, it's with the context it has, is taking decisions in the middle of the workflow. So it means you are losing control, because it has hallucinations, and we know that sometimes the AI agent loses the control, the AI, and gives you a totally different answer. So now, like what I'm learning is, if you want to implement this into workflows, you have to be really careful of the possible options. Like, okay, this can be an output like this, like this, like this, and sometimes you even don't know, and is there like out of scope decisions, because you never know what the agent will answer. So I think you can try to think like, okay, he can answer this, and suddenly he will give a totally new answer, and you are not expecting that answer. So that's to be careful. So when and when not to automate, this is general, not with AI agents. When you have repetitive tasks and timing consuming, so you have your normal work and it's taking you too much time, and you think like, there is repetitive tasks I can implement in automation. The process is defined, like you know the process, and I don't know, I know that with all my clients I do this, so maybe it's possible to automate. When you can scale and you know that you will grow somehow, and suddenly you will become like a slave or your work and you don't want, so maybe you can consider to automate. And when there's a clear value in gain, because it's saving time, but it's also taking time to understand the process. So when to not automate, if you know that it will save you 20 minutes of work, I'm not sure if it's worth it. This is not objective, but in any case, you can consider like 20 minutes of my work. It's worth it, like to learn and have a process and workflow running, and to be to have problems, errors, or whatever. So because the processes can be unstable or changing frequently, so there's not good option to automate if you will not have time to work on this. If the task depends on human touch, like you have a client and you don't really want to compromise your voice, how your brand it is, so you don't want to let AI 100% run this, so then you have to consider to put the human in the loop, and when the cost of automation exceeds the benefits. And when not to automate with AI workflows, automate when you need to interpret unstructured or variable inputs. As we talked before, like someone will ask something, and we need to understand that deeply. Like let's say, what is the highest mountain in the world? And before, if you don't have it, if you were not expecting some question like, what is the highest mountain in the world, maybe you don't have option to continue the workflow. Now the AI is thinking like the highest mountain in the world. Okay, so I have these options, and it can interpret, have context, and give you an answer. So in that case, that when you need to interpret different kind of inputs, it's a good option. Okay, you should run it when you have defined a fallback or for unexpected or out of scope answers. So it means you feel confident to run the workflow and know that it can have errors, and you are prepared for that. Like you know that if this happens, okay, I have this plan B, plan C, plan D. Anytime I receive an error, I receive a notification and I will put action into it. If you are not ready to do that, maybe it's not a good idea, and you are willing to invest time because it demands time. And avoid or delay automation whenever you can. Like I was telling Rado the other day, like if you can avoid using AI in the middle of the workflow because you can code the part of the process, you don't, and if you know how to code it, don't do it because then it gives you this different kind of outputs that can compromise your workflow. So I wanted to show you like 3 examples in N8N that I have done. So 1 second. Okay, so here's the tool. What I can tell you about the tool, that what is really good, that you can install the tool for free into your server, and you will not be paying for tasks. Like in the past, all these tools like Zapier or Make, you are paying for each task. Like in N8N, the browser version for everyone, you need to pay like 25 euros, let's say, a month just to run it. But in this case, you can self-host this, and it's open source. So it's quite nice because you are not paying, you are just paying your server. And I have installed in my domain, it's running in a container, and you can install the images there and everything, and then you have this platform. So here, you just create like workflows. And for example, this workflow is just small workflow for AI agent into Telegram node. So what is this? Like I will show you an example. I will open my Telegram here.
So far, another question here. Like I can use it instead of Zapier. Like, I'm paying Zapier now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, of course.
if this is for free, of course, on my server, so it will do the same stuff as Zapier.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Same and more, I will say. Mm-hmm. So I have here created this Donabella, it's called agent. I did this for my father. So my father had a business of curtains, let's say this kind of curtains. So he used to go to the houses. He's old school, so he's trying to do everything himself. Even I was pushing, no, you have to have more people. No, I will do it myself. So he goes to every house, he measures the windows, he take notes, he go home, he see the open computer really slow, he start typing like, and do calculations for how many square meters he had, and then do quotation and send quotation to the clients. So I create this for him, and the idea of this is that he will have this chat in Telegram. Why in Telegram? Because it's for free. Like the connection in Telegram with API to N8N is for free. In WhatsApp, you have to pay. You have to pay tokens in WhatsApp, and so that's why I implemented here. So I give it to him just like as a contact, Donabella, so he can talk to her. And the way he can talk to her is like, I'm not sure, can I speak you in Spanish, or I can speak you in English also? It's turned off. Like, I will turn it on. Sorry. Yeah, so it's saying in Spanish that hi, I'm here to help you for the quotations. Please give me the next information, name of the company, or in case of it, someone, the house of someone, tell me the name of the contact and the email. Here is saying me like, yeah, I can speak in Spanish or English. So I will tell her like, we will talk in English. Okay, and before continuing, I want to show you the executions we did right now, because I send audio and I send text to the agent. So in this process, you can see that the first message I did recognize like if it's voice, audio, or text. So when it's voice, it goes here. It downloads the file because the audio file. It's transcribed by AI model. In this case, ChatGPT is transcribing the audio into text and is giving it to the agent. And in the agent, I'm giving the JSON text that is the output of the previous node. And here is the system message. What is this? Is the instructions to this agent that I'm telling her, like, you are an assistant for creating quotations for this business. In each time, you have to follow these steps and whatever. And here's the output that we see in this workflow, like, yes, I can help you in Spanish and in English, as you prefer, okay? And then I text her, so should go through the other way. Text, set text, send it there, and it has the memory there. So let's see what's more there. So I will say, okay, I'm doing this quotation for the business is called Tatry IT Community, and the contact person is Rado Ondas, and his email is rado@ondash.com. We will see Rado if Rado Ondas will be. So thank you for the information. Now let's move on the details about roller shades. Please answer the following question. How many shades are required? And please provide the dimensions. So I will say, like, we required 2 windows. One window is 2.7 meters times 4 meters, and the second window is 3.3 meters times 4. So here are the shades registered so far. Please verify that the details are correct. One is 2 meters 70 times 4, 3 meters 30. Do you confirm that this is correct? It's OK. Perfect. Now let's proceed to gather the pricing information. What will be the price for a square meter and the installation? So I will say, for square meter, 10,000 Chilean pesos, and for installation, 100,000 Chilean pesos. Okay, 100,000 Chilean pesos is like 100 euros. So every time we go for lunch in Placenca, I'm paying 8,000 Chilean pesos. Okay, so here is summary. It says data of client, Tatry IT community. Okay, there is like but I can tell her to change it. Rado Ondas, radoondash.com. It's also some mistakes there. So this is like a good example with mistakes that you can avoid this. And of course, guys here will think like, of course you can create a form and you will never have these mistakes, because if you create the form, my father will have to write the email there. So I guess this part of the process, this process is not perfect, this process for my father. Why? First, for me, is calculations. Like sometimes the AI is not doing good calculations, and it totally depends into the model. Like when you try different models, it's crazy. Like somehow it works perfect, somehow not. And he was struggling once in the house of someone, and he was telling me, I put there like 12 windows, and the answer was not correct. And I was telling him, like, no, calculation is wrong. And he was saying, no, it's correct. So it was crazy. So yeah, he was not that happy. Now should be okay. But yes, for example, these kinds of mistakes there, that you don't have the rado@ondash, we can try to think, as I was telling before, like to do it differently. Like you have to write it there. Or I can tell him, like, just write the emails, like it's important information. So now it's asking me, like, you confirm that this information is correct. So what it did is it calculates all the square meters for the price of square meters plus the installation, and it's giving you with the tax and without tax. So I will say, like, yeah, it's correct. So what should happen now? Okay, so here it gives me like the files of the quotations. It opens here. So how can I put it there like this? Rado, you help me? No? Jiki. How can I move it? I think I have to put this, okay, like this, and then like this, okay. Oh, it's showing here. Okay, there is the presentation, and there is saying like the name of the company, the name of the contact, email, some examples about the works he had done, then descriptions about the specific work, and then the price and installation price and everything. So imagine how much time it saves to him. This is one. And second one, and really important for me, is that the format is always the same, because he was crazy. He was sometimes texting whatever here. He never put the photos or put one photo or change the photos. So this keeps the work in control. And it's good for him. Like, he's happy, but as you see, still there is some things to improve. And
This presentation template is where?
this presentation template is in Google. Yeah, it's in Google Drive. So here, just to let you know, the instruction of the agent is just have a normal conversation with the person. Collect all the data you have to collect, and when you have everything confirmed that everything is okay, that's why he asked me last time, like, this is correct, like all the information. If I say yes, he will call this. And this is like a tool. And what is like a tool is another workflow. So is this workflow. So you can call workflows from your workflows. And this execute here brings the data, goes to Google Sheets because we are collecting the data for my father. He wants to have all the clients. Then it goes to Google Drive. It copy one of the presentations, download the file to give it to Telegram. And then this replies to the agent there. So that's how it works. And for example, in this case, is another example. This is another agent I have. And here. So is this agent. And this agent, I have it for myself. And I'm sending the facturas. In Spanish is factura, same like Slovak. So I'm sending facturas to my clients. And suddenly I had my sister. She was working for me. She was doing facturas every month. We do the maintenance. And suddenly she quit. She's pregnant and she quit. And I was, okay, what can I do? It's a good time to automate, because I didn't want it to automate before this, because she will feel like you push me away. But now I did it. So what I'm doing here is like when I have the facturas.
Does she know? Does she know that you replaced them?
Yes, she knows. Just 1 second to find the I should have it open for this. Sorry, guys. Okay, I have to find it here. One second. Yeah, so here I have it, so I have to move it there. Okay, so I will move this there. I will paste it into this agent, and he will know what to do, I hope. Okay, so I will show you what's going on. Okay. So, okay, I received the email here. It's working. So what it does, it receives the file, and it will recognize if it's image or PDF. In this case, was PDF. So it goes here, and what it does here, it's push this file into my website. Why? Because I have in my website like my own system for like CRM, but I did it is to have to follow my clients, to send the facturas, to see who paid, who not. So it upload the file to the website, extract the data from PDF, put it here to put both together. And here's like a code. And here's a good example, like why I didn't put an agent here. And what is this guy doing? He received the data from the PDF. So it was really easy in the beginning to put an agent there and tell the agent like, okay, you will receive data from PDF. So please put the data in this output, like this format. And it worked, but not all the time. And then I was like, okay, but the PDF I'm putting there is always the same structure. Why? Because it's like a Chilean factura, like official. I know in Slovakia it's different because here you can create Word as you want. That's totally nice. Yes, it's totally nice to create workflows because you can create workflows for your facturas from the beginning. In my case, it's really hard because my facturas has to be in the official format through their system, and they don't have the open API or something to create the document. So that's why I have to still manually every month create the factura, download it, but then I paste all together into this. And what this does is like it has here the code to extract the data from that PDF, and I know exactly the structure, so it gives me the data then really organized. And then what it does, this agent here, he receives the data, and what is nice in N8N, in this tool, that is really helpful, it does always here you have the input, and there you have the output. So it's like the graphic we had before. It's always input, then how you process this, and then the output. So it's really visual because you can see what was coming, what was going out. So in these terms was coming like name of the client, client ID, the name of the factura and everything. And I was telling him here in the instructions, like please, with the name of the ID, go to Airtable, to this table here, and filter the clients from this ID and get the name of the person and the amount I'm charging them every month. I'm lying because this amount is coming in the factura. It's just to ask for the name of these persons. So then, okay, here is parser, so you can see like what it means. Like I'm telling here you can see the example of the parse. I'm telling him how I need the data for the next node. So I need the data exactly like this. And here you have three different views to see the data. So there you see like how it's coming the output. So it means you have each element as independent element. So you can play with each of these rows. And okay, now I'm putting here the another fields. Like I'm telling here like who is the person who will receive this email is Grace, and that data I have it from the past here, from this input. I got this from the agent, so I'm putting in the output like, okay, this output will be called remittent. And then I'm downloading from the website the PDF file, and I'm sending approval to me. So that means there is a human in the loop, and that human is me, and I have to approve if this email will be sent to this client. Why? Because I don't want to send this format, this email format to every client. Some clients are really important for me and I just want to send it like manually, but I want to put it into the system and everything. So I want to run the workflow, but then I don't want to send them the email. So here you see like it's the email and it says like, please accept or reject the email. So I will put like approve. I will send it like real to this client. So this is like a real example. I put approve. And now it runs. And it completes the workflow. It's sent to the client, and it sent it to me in copy. And it's saying like really nice format. I can show you. I don't know if you see there, but it's like, hi Grace, good day. So it's telling her Grace. Why? Because we found her name into database. Here we send you the factura number 303. There is a button to see the factura. So if she clicks, she will see the PDF, dates, data for the payment, and whatever. So this is like another example of how it helps me in the every month, and it really helped me because I'm using it every month, and I trust this workflow because I really put effort here to extract the PDF in the correct format. And here you are expecting one input. So this is the case from before. You know that the input will be always this format, so it's easier, you are in control. So it's a way to do the workflow. And then this is going a little bit deeper, and I don't know if someone here is related to how is working AI in the brain. And this is, we will go back to presentation. Yeah, here is not that easy to understand, but maybe technical guys will understand better. But how AI has his knowledge, his information. Like when you ask ChatGPT something, how he goes and get the information. And this information is vectorized information. It means it's created with embeds that are like numbers, and it's metadata who is numbers, who is related to the contents. And it's hard to even to explain for me, but the way it works is like you put one document, let's say PDF about information of Poprat. So this system, that is the RAG, they call the RAG, that is retrieval augment generation, the RAG will separate the text, the whole document, in chunks. And what is chunks? Is like small pieces of text, let's say. So you split the file in different chunks, and then these chunks are processed by the embeds. So you put the AI model there to put this data into numbers. And sounds a little bit crazy because then when you ask ChatGPT something, he understands what you ask, and he's putting these words into numbers. And he's going to the database of numbers, trying to find the more close answers to that question, to that initial question. So a good example to understand this is, I was thinking like a song. A song has like verse, chorus. So one song is structured in different, and it has their own chords, let's say G, D, F. So suddenly you ask the system like, hey, I have a song who has this chorus. And you see that the chorus is G, F, E. So it will go to the system and try to find songs with this code. Like G, D, E, it's like a code. Like it's saying you, this song is structured by this chord. So it will put answers with songs that are similar like this. So this is similar like this. Like you ask the ChatGPT or the model, and he will go to the vector database and trying to find relations between the numbers and the content and bring the answers. So this is how it works. Like now I'm building a new project, and in this project I'm using a RAG, but I found problems in this. because when you are splitting the big document into chunks, and why you are doing this is because anytime you ask the AI agent something, you don't want the AI agent to take all the document to find the answer. That's really important. Like, you got this idea? Okay, so you don't want to spend even resources because you are paying AI for tokens. He's asking to the system. So you don't want to retrieve all the document. You want to just get chunks that are pieces of information that are really related to the question. But the problem of these chunks is that they are cutting into the document. Poop, 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 poop. It separates, it creates a database. But what if you ask something to the agent and he retrieves this chunk, but this chunk was just split in one really important part of the context, of the whole context. So it will not be really accurate. And that's why we put this example here, like a scenario. A knowledge base contains quarterly earnings reports from various companies. Chunk in database will be revenue grew by 3% over the previous quarter. User query, it is the question. Someone asked, what was the revenue growth from ACME Corp in Q2 2019? Problem, traditional RAG retrieves the above chunk, that one, because it's semantically similar, because it's talking about revenue and everything, but it doesn't specify which company or quarter. So the answer lacks of context and making it unclear or even misunderstanding there. So in my project, I'm putting information into the system like Q&As, like facts, frequent asked questions. And I'm pushing the system to create each chunk as question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. So in my case, I'm safe. I'm protected because if someone asks something, the system will go to see the chunks, and he will find the question and the answer. But in case I will put documents in my system, this RAG will extract the document and can happen this problem. So what is next that makes the RAG better? It's to create chunks, same process, then create, like in N8N, you can really create this mix, what the system split plus text of the document to bring him context there. And that's what you put in the AI agent. So you create like chunks plus documents, and that create like a context plus chunk. What is this? Like it's piece of text with context. So you let the AI fill the context information in each chunk to make it clear for the agents to create answers. And then you embed these chunks plus context, and that's a better result. Like, of course, better than before, because now it's not just chunks, it's chunks plus text. And there is example that how it would be better. And then what is much more better than this, to be covered 100%, is like this hybrid RAG, that what is doing is document plus chunk, and also putting like keywords context. So it means you will have two databases. One it will be for this, and another one will be for specific keywords. So this way, someone can ask like, I'm trying to look for the bicycle code 33.4. And this will be able to do that because he print like specific words there and not just context, because this is context, and that would be like ideal contextual hybrid RAG. I'm not there, I didn't do that, but what I did that I can show you, like this is my two tools that I use to put documents. So when I put like a PDF or something, I switch here like which kind of document it is, if it's PDF, it's Excel, CSV, or just text. And here is where the magic happens. This guy with this embed model, it creates the code for the text. It means transcribe every text into these embeds that are numbers. And this guy here is doing the chunk. So it means it's splitting the text every 1,000 words. So I want to show you an example just to ask something to this guy here. So open the chat. Okay, so I put him information about ski schools. Okay, so I will ask like which kind of lessons do you offer? Okay, you see he's working, he's going to the Vector store, and he's retrieving information to the agent. And now we will see the answer. So it say, hello, we offer a variety of ski lessons for different age, little yetis, junior explorers, teen nomads, adult progression, and whatever. But I will show you how he collects the data here. So here in the Vector store, you see that he went to the database and he received all this information in numbers. So these are the codes that I told you. And with these codes, he retrieves 7 different chunks. These are chunks, and these are pieces of information, like Tatry peak, ski school, operation, like whatever. And then with all these answers, it gives it back to the agent, and the agent is able to create an answer. So there is good to see also this. I ask like, what kind of lessons do you offer? And the agent sent the query like lessons offered to the system. So with this query, the system was able to bring back these 7 pieces of information, let's call them chunks, and give them the output. That was the output of the embed. So lessons offered, it gives the output codes, and then the AI creates this answer, like, hi, we offer this. So this is how it works. And it really opens your mind to understand how ChatGPT is even working, like how he's retrieving information and everything. So more information, more rich information you give to the system, better it will perform. But still, it's not perfect. So it's not 100%. You can't be 100% sure that this will work all the time like this. So then, for example, in N8N, you have like configurations here that you can put like every time this workflow fails, for example, this error workflow fails, call to some of these workflows. So you can create like error workflows. It means every time this fails, call the error workflow, and in the error workflow, you can have like Telegram text to your account to tell you, hey, your workflow fails. And what is good for non-coders, also like me, is that when you see errors, you can see exactly in which node it was the error. So that's really easy to go and fix things. So that's were the examples, and now let's chat about it. I don't know.
Do you pay for ChatGPT API, and how many euros or dollars do you pay every month?
Yeah, so so this is good to show you here. In each node, you put credentials. Like, I don't want to open there. Let's create a new workflow just to the examples. Agent. So here in the AI agent, you just connect the account. Oh, it's asking me for the trigger. Okay, but to the chat model, you have all these chat models here. Okay, you know because you have an agent, but there you connect your credentials. So it means, what is OpenAI? There, you have the list of credentials connected there. So it means anytime you want to create an account there, you have to put your API, and this will be saved into your system. And that's really good because you can use it whenever you want. If you registered once here, you will have it there for all your workflows. And the cost I'm paying there is really low. It's really low. Like I'm paying, I don't know, 8 or 6 euros a month.
For all the automation.
For all the automations I have there. And I have embeds running there. I have AI agents running there and everything. So, and I have in the API, you can set up that every time it goes under 15 euros, charge me my credit card again. So you will be saved that you are covered. So it's not expensive. And totally depends in the model. There are cheaper models because here when you select the model, you have the list of models that you want to use. And for example, I figured it out that GPT-4o, it works the best for me, the best answers and everything. But you can go for cheaper models. And you can also see this data, like how much it costs. Yeah.
Okay, and the server you are using for the self-hosting, you are hosting on your hosting provider,
Yes.
or where you are hosting the NA then?
Yeah, I have VPS servers, and I use it mainly for my clients. Like I'm hosting few clients there, so it's its own server, but I'm paying for this server. It's Vulture. It's called Vulture, and the server is in Krakow. And yeah, I'm hosting there in one instance of Docker, in one server.
So it's not physical server you are.
No, it's not physical server. Yes.
Because I have Synology at home, and I'm thinking about hosting on Synology this NAS server.
Uh-huh.
So I looked into it, and it's possible to create Docker also in the NAS server, and so I can run it locally in my home without any cost. But I need to upgrade RAM because it's recommended to have 2 gigabytes of RAM for this, and I have only 4 gigabytes, and I need it for other stuff. So I need to upgrade this. But if I upgrade, I can use it for this, and I have no cost
Like offering this N8N open like Zapier, you will pay like, I don't know, 25 euros a month, and you have this but running in their servers. So that means, okay, depends the data you are using. Maybe you want to go in your own server. It's not that hard to implement in the own server, and then you are safe that at least it's running in your instance. Yeah.
More questions?
I have another
idea about the use case of the billing you showed before in the second example. Because in Zenit, every month we have lots of work with billing because there are like hundreds of invoices from Google, Meta, other suppliers coming. And we are actually doing it manually, like really I have to save everything, then somehow process it and input all the numbers to our billing system. When you showed the code, that I got this idea, like if we could implement somehow this stuff. So what will be required in this case? Like our billing system will need to have some API or something in order to connect into this.
It's on the systems and
One thing. This is paid question from David's new business for setting up those workflows for clients like you.
Yeah, exactly. Like we will pay you a lot.
no. in Chilean pesos, please. In millions. In Bitcoin. No. Of course, what you are saying is completely possible, and it's good to know that your kind of facturas you are using every month are the same, because Facebook is always same format, and whatever, Instagram, I don't know, all of them are same. So that way you can build like a strong system because you can trust it. But I don't know, like you are asking me like if you would do it for them.
No.
Okay.
The question is, what's actually
Actually, technically needed in order to do this, to run for them. We are using like one specific billing software only for media agencies. It's totally crap, like 19th century or the last century, 90 years. It's really not working well, but in order to get the data there to the software, what's needed? Like the API or?
You are able to send data there, and there's ways to send data here, mainly this one, like this HTTP request. So you put the endpoint there that they give you, like they say, okay, in this endpoint you will, like let's say webhook or terms like URL, you are able to put data there. And of course there is systems who are more secure, so you need to put credentials there and this. But of course it's really important to know if this software or whatever, it's open and it has the possibility to do it, because if not, you are not able to put it there.
Yeah.
Maybe you are able to do other things, collect this information, save it somewhere.
Can you upload files to the system?
Not sure.
Yeah, so it's up to you to figure out what's the input method, and if it's, let's say,
If you can upload CSV file, then the automation can actually do all of it for you and create for you a file that you just upload, and it does all the manual work that you input by hand into the forms, if possible. That's one of the options. A lot of the accounting system have option to upload file with all the data, but not all. The API is the new method, but the old systems from before API world, they usually offered the option to upload file with information. So check that option as well.
Then the question is, if you will run this or they will run this, is where, because there's some security things that of course you have to be protecting this data, your server, this information, these endpoints, because you don't want to share, I think, this data with other
Yeah, of course.
people.
Yeah,
And
but good idea, at least, to have it on mind.
I guess this point of security is like the weakest point of myself, and I guess for the people who is trying these tools and everything, because we think that everything is possible, information and everything, but suddenly you are playing with fire, because you are exposing sometimes the things, these endpoints, you have it open without like these headers of, or how it's called, the GWT, like these tokens, like to verify who is asking for the data. So I'm trying to learn this a lot, like to be careful with this, but still it's crazy because you have to be careful.
ideas?
Can be paid question too.
Try it. It's fun. It's really fun because each node is always same, like input, output. And you can try crazy things, like for example, putting one input like message, and then put 9 or 10 different AI agents with different models. Let's say 3.0, 4.0, 4.5. Each agent you put with different model, and you just ask something, and you will see all the answers. For one question, totally different answer with different models. So then you can test things like this, or I don't know, things like this. Like
things. First one is I want to compliment you that how you explained RAG as a non-technical person. Very decent. We can discuss further when you need anything about RAG. And the second question, how steep is the learning curve? How was it for you?
Started 6 months ago, but I'm spending a lot of time, like crazy. Yes.
No sleep, no food.
No sleep, no food, nothing. Yes, but I would say like the best for me to learn is real examples. When you are trying just for trying and it's nothing, but when you need to do something real, you will do it until you finish. So this really helps me. There is tons of videos in YouTube. Also, ChatGPT knows about N8N, of course. And sometimes you need help with the code, for example, code node to put the code. It will help, like everyone knows. So I think depends on you, but the beginning is hard, but suddenly you became really fast because then you get used to this input output, how to move the variables.
I have one question because I know Zapier integrates AI to create zaps from scratch. So you only gave some prompt and Zapier generated all the workflow. Is there something implemented in N8N for now or not?
Will create quotations for my father.
Yes,
like
yes.
this.
Something like this.
Okay,
So
I'm not sure if it is there. What is there that I use sometimes is to import templates. So I can export this one and import it, and you will see it exactly same in your system. But then you have to put your credentials, your things.
yes. So there is some community you can look into some workflows.
Yeah, I know that now there is like new thing that 2 months ago it came, I think. It's called MCP. And it's like here in the tools, because in the tools you connect to the agent, let's say you can put tools like Google Calendar. So each time I want the meeting, something, go to Google Calendar and put this information. But the thing is you need to go to Google Calendar node and set everything like, okay, you receive this, 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 this. Now is one node that is called MCP that I didn't try yet. I'm not sure if it's, yeah, this one, MCP client tool. And it will, you put there like Google Calendar, but you don't have to connect every input, you just put it there and you tell them like, okay, I need a meeting, and he will understand what he has to do. So it means it's much easier because you don't have to think in all the steps. The system will understand what you need. And I think there is one MCP for N8N, so that you can insert data into N8N and create workflows from this tool.
Yeah, so there is a beginning for that.
It's like the beginning, and not all the tools are compatible with this. So in GitHub, I think it's the list of tools that you can use as MCP servers.
But this NCP tool is getting popular now because on other tools I heard of that. I'm using Raycast, and there is Raycast AI, and there is some tool on Mac. And there is also MCP support there, and I heard it on some other tools, so it's getting popular now. And I think this year in terms of AI, it's agents and MCP.
Yes, crazy. Yeah, and MCP, they say like it's totally game changer because you just put it there and it will do whatever you ask. It's somehow it's good, but somehow you don't understand what's happening. So somehow we are becoming more stupid.
And Google this week also announced that there will be some AI mode in the Google search, and inside the Google search there will be also an MCP.
Okay.
And with Google you can shop on the e-shops, and I don't know what everything can do, but with personal context also and some other crazy tools. So
the same, and now Airbnb is able in MCP, so you can ask like, I want to have vacations in Mallorca, and it will go and directly bring you all the accommodations and everything. So you can do actually this now with anything, but you have to set up each of the queries. But with MCP, it will be automatically created. So that's the magic. Oh, you have question? I have pain in my back.
Did you try also the, or are there any other tools, or why did you pick this one?
Years I was working with Zapier, but it was not this. The interface is more difficult to understand at the end, because here it's like more boxes and input output easier. So I found that for me it really worked, but I think Make is doing something really similar. Yeah, so like Make.com. The interface is almost the same, I guess.
Make is Czech company.
It's Czech company?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's Czech.
From what I hear when people choose between Make and N8N is that Make is more user-friendly in a way that is even more for no-code, non-technical people, because it simplifies things. And a lot of people start with Make, but then when they start doing complex and maybe a little bit more coding and more options to set up, they end up in N8N because it is a little bit more technical in the end. Or no, in the end you can be much more technical with N8N than Make.com from the customization perspective and the support of different like very technical nodes that can code and other things. So people really often start with Make. But if you know that you will get complex, start with N8N. But that's what I heard.
And like grow, it completely grow this year is because it's open source. So it means a lot of people was like, okay, so I install as myself and I can try. I don't need to pay. So this barrier of paying, it's important because you can just try as much as you want. And
You don't even need the server, you can run it on your laptop.
exactly.
That's the point. So the starting point with it is just run it on your laptop. That's it. If you have a Docker and if you know how to run Docker image, that's it. That's all you need. And they simplified the installation for everyone on laptop, and then the same on server. Very simple.
So there is N8N. If you pay monthly is 20, but you have 2,500 workflows, executions, 5 active workflows. So yeah, if you know how to run the server and have it, it's better.
There is no limitation on the open.
No, there's no limitation. Few settings that
They will actually ask you to log in.
So they know who is using it, but it's for free. So they will make you to connect with your username and password with the N8N cloud in general. But yes, even if you are using it locally, it did not allow me to start it without like connecting or creating an account. So they have some stats, which is understandable.
but you give them the data. Yeah, there is few things that says like you need to connect, but still like this is for variables that you can still create in the in Docker files. This is nothing limited. Yeah, so here how it looks the credentials. Sorry. Yeah, so here are all my credentials. They're connected. So you can see like Google Drive, Slides, Sheets. So anytime I'm creating a workflow, I can select one of these credentials that are already connected. Yeah, okay. So.
First and foremost, thanks a lot for the demos. And yeah, if you were to start over what would be the first thing to automate in your life? And second question, what are the future plans for you? Do you have an imagination of what comes next? What automation would come next? Sure.
Okay, the first question, I got lost in the first.
If you were to start over with all
This automation
To
thing.
start over?
Yeah, like from scratch. If you didn't do any automations before, what would be the first thing you would solve in your life and automate it?
My sister. Yeah. Oh, it's hard to know because, as we talked in the beginning, you get so excited in the beginning that you try to automate everything, but then you have, like you see, full of workflows. That is like, okay, for what? Like I was pushing a lot in few of them and it's not working. So I would say like this one for the facturas every month, it really helps me because I don't have to write every time there and everything. And for the future, I think it's the project I'm working on. I create like software for now in the first moment it's for ski schools, but can be for anyone because they are receiving a lot of emails every day, the ski schools, and the questions are usually similar all the time. So I create an interface where the ski schools can upload data to the brain. I call it the brain section, and they can put frequent asked questions, put contact, put documents, PDF, whatever, and this will create their whole brain of this email account. So then anytime they receive an email, I create an answer out with AI. And I'm also collecting the data of the answers to retrieve the system with more information and more and more. Something like this. And I have two options. One is to have the human in the loop. It means they don't trust 100% that this system will reply. So every time they create the answer, it's sent it to the owner. The owner says like, hey, it's perfect. It's sent it to the client. Something like this. And this I'm working now, and I'm doing also with this tool, the back end of these processes. I'm doing with this, and I'm also using Supabase as database. Yeah, I'm really looking forward.
Okay, we have no more questions. Maybe we can shut down the official part and then continue chatting just where we left off. Thank you very much, David. I am impressed. And a pre všetkých, ktorí prídu o mesiac 19. júna, vítajte, príďte, prosím vás. Accessibility, alebo po slovensky, ako sa tomu hovorí, prístupnosť pre všetkých ľudí, ktorí sú znevýhodnení zdravotne, tí, ktorí nevedia, čo to je, tak sa príďte naučiť. Príde chalán z Good Request a porozpráva nám na túto horúcu tému, ktorá kvári každú väčšiu firmu, ktorá má nejakú aplikáciu, ktorá musí spĺňať tieto najnovšie požiadavky Európskej únie. 19. júna opäť tu a accessibility. Ďakujem za pozornosť.